Brought to you by Accenture Extended Reality. This is Field of View.
How do we actually go about guaranteeing the safety of essentially wearing a battery on your eye?
Oh, there are quite a few elements of that, quite a few things that we're doing. The first one is called toxicology testing. We need to prove that it's safe just from the material standpoint, that they're not going to cause irritation, not going to cause infections and various things. So we've already begun our toxicology testing of that and have already passed one of the key phases of that toxicology testing, and that'll be done in the next month or two. And once you know then that it's safe to put on, then there are other things. We've already shown the FDA that we're not going to blind you, that we're going to present safe levels of light to the eye, safe frequencies of light, et cetera. And it's going to be safe from, that perspective. We're not going to blind. We've also shown one of the things about contact lenses. One of the interesting things about human anatomy is that the cornea of your eye it's cells. It's a type of skin, basically, and those cells require oxygen just like every other cell in your body. But your cornea evolved to not have any blood vessels in it. It's transparent. If it had blood vessels, it wouldn't be transparent. At best, you'd see red probably. Because of that evolution, what happened was the cornea breathes through outside air. Outside oxygen has to flow to those cells so that they can live and breathe and grow and et cetera. And any kind of contact lens has to make sure that the oxygen can still get to the eye. Yeah, that it's oxygen permeable. And different types of contact lens technologies do that in different ways. But fundamentally the oxygen has to permeate through the contact lens. We've had to solve that problem as well as any other contact lens, and we've already proven that we can do that and collected the evidence to show, yes, our contact lens architecture works. And that was a non-trivial thing that we had to do, and it took us, several years to develop the technology to do that. So, but there are many other things that we're going to have to prove the safety of, that we're not going to distract you. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're not going to show you distracting images when you're driving or doing something that could be dangerous.
There's that Black Mirror episode I like to think about. You probably get it referenced a lot, actually, which was, I think there was one called like The Entire History of You, for example, where, they actually had, these contact lenses that you can put in. And, obviously this is media, so science fiction media, but, there's scenarios in that where, the person can look back at events of the day and they can, ignore and blind out the world around them and things like that. So I guess there's those ethical concerns as well around this that we have to be mindful of.
Absolutely. We're all fans of Black Mirror as well, but we've produced a series of videos of our own that I like to call White Mirror, to show the good uses of it and all the good things that come out, not the bad things. This, like every other piece of technology, can be used for bad and evil as well as for good. And we're going to try to focus on the good and highlight those. But, technology,
does that mean
every tool can be a weapon. And we try to, although this tool we're building, given that it's smart, I think we will have the capability that has been in very few, if any, other tools to prevent as much as possible it from being used as a weapon. That's something we'll have to develop more and more of over time.
Because I was going to say, and this is, I guess, up to you guys of how you're looking to do this, but I guess there's an opportunity eventually where, this could be opened up to the app market, or and developers can develop their own stuff on it and create their own applications of it. Have you guys thought about, I guess, that process of what it looks like when it's in the world, and I guess, how people go about making, applications for it and things like that?
That's absolutely part of our plan. My Mojo's head of marketing and product, Steve Sinclair, was one of the product managers for the iPhone 1 through the iPhone 6, and he was one of the developers of the App Store. So we're very familiar with the App Store model, and going to be modeling our strategy is taking the pages out of Apple's book there.
Okay, interesting.
That's fascinating. So this means that eventually you're gonna ship out the products before launch in order to create an ecosystem of application that will be available directly at the beginning of the consumer phase of the device, or you think that eventually you will launch the application with a bunch of the product with a bunch of application that you're going to build internally, and eventually then open the ecosystem to external developers?
Yeah, again, we'll take a page out of Apple's book, and as Steve helped develop that strategy, and the first version will have applications that we've developed or perhaps developed with a small set of partners that we've already started signing up and building relationships with. And so we'll have that small set of applications that we have proven are safe and effective and work, and I won't say bug-free. No software is bug-free, but
we need to think about
really
our
well.
XR team in Accenture then.
Yeah,
because that's an interesting point, Nick. Because like we have about like that the enterprise. We've talked about consumer uses and stuff, but I guess Drew, there's a very big enterprise market for this as well.
Absolutely, and we are talking with a number of enterprises and a number of different vertical markets, and we're seeing a lot of excitement for a lot of different people. We're seeing excitement from any application that needs your hands free and your eyes up, basically. There's so many things that, our mobile phones are incredibly useful, and there's so many applications, and you can apply the mobile phone to just about any kind of application and that you do, but it's not useful during many activities. Any activity you need your hands free, you can't use your mobile phone. You can't even use your smartwatch very well. If you're working on a car, for instance, or even if you're running, we are very excited about developing applications and shipping applications in our first version for athletics and sports. These kind of activities, you'd like technological help if you could, but your smartwatch even is too cumbersome to use while you're doing these kinds of activities. You can't play with the buttons on your watch well when you're skiing. You can't even do it when you're golfing. It's even hard when you're running, for instance, or biking. And, your mobile phone is useless. How many people have dropped their mobile phone off the ski lift, for instance, let alone try to ski down the hill with it. So we think there's a lot of applications like that, and many enterprise applications as well, where you need this kind of capability.
I can see a lot of applications eventually in the medical field for surgeons that will be able to have, for example, X-ray vision of their patients while they're operating, or MRI vision of their patients while they're operating.
Absolutely. There are applications in every field of human endeavor. In everything that everybody does, there are opportunities to use technology to help them see more, see better, see more deeply, more clearly. And we're excited to change the world in all of these areas.
Did you know you can catch this full episode of Field of View and more by subscribing on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts to not miss another immersive technology moment? Subscribe today.